All right, it's the Manchester Derby. It's going to be played at Old Trafford, and it's obviously going to be one of those games that the entire world is obviously going to be watching all over the world. Though there is an El Clasico, but that doesn't stop us from obviously coming in through and obviously bringing you the latest about the teams of Manchester that are obviously going to face off in what we call the Manchester Derby. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David remains my name, and we thank God for the gift of life. Now we are coming into this game when Man United have gone ahead to play loads of games, and the stats obviously say that there have been 190 competitive meetings between the teams, Manchester United and Manchester City. Man United has won 78 of those games. City has won 59 of the games. The remaining 53 games finished in draws. That is a very huge start that you need to know about this fixture. But remember, all that happened, we went ahead to edge them a lot during the Sir Alex Ferguson era because we used to beat them home and away. But things started to change when I think Shinawatra went ahead and bought Man City, and Man City had the likes of Robinho. They brought in Elano. There is a group of Brazilian players they brought into the team, the Gareth Barry, him very well, the English guy, not the Welsh guy, and things started not to go as planned. So ever since then, it was not a sure win against City, but we still edge them no matter how strong they've gone ahead to build what we call a juggernaut, right? They've gone ahead to build a juggernaut in the Manchester City, and that's why we obviously need to break it down. So let's start it off with the previous games we've gone ahead to play. The last time they played at Old Trafford, we beat them by 2-1, and for them, they beat us by 6-3, remember, at Etihad last season. Then we played in the FA Cup finale. They beat us by 2-1. That is Manchester City, and the player that mastered that was Ika Gundogan, and is out. So wait and see. In the Champions League, they went ahead to beat Young Boys by 3-1. Erling Haaland with a brace, and Akanji, who is out of this game because of suspension, scored another one to make it 3. For the side of Manchester United, went ahead to beat Copenhagen by 1-0, and it was courtesy of a Harry Maguire header and a late-minute penalty save coming in from Andy Onana that gave United the best that we deserve as a team. So that's it coming in from Man United, and I hope you guys are really ready to obviously get to know what the team news is like. For Man United, the only player returning is going to be Casemiro. That is it. Casemiro is going to be ready for the game of Man City, having rested ever since last Wednesday, I think. Last Wednesday, he has kept himself fresh and rested for close to 10 days, and I think on Sunday, he's obviously going to be one of those players that are going to be very impactful into the way we are going to play against Manchester City. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka is returning in the next 10-9 days. Amad Diallo soon returning after the international break. Kobe Menu is back, but he needs to be assessed by the manager to see whether he's going to be fit to play. Then Luke Shaw is expected to return late December. Lisandro Martinez, January. Those are the injuries that we are having, and all those are the absentees for the club of Man United. We go to Man City. They are only having one player who is out. That is Kevin De Bruyne. And Kevin De Bruyne is out for some time, and I think is returning towards the end of the month of the month of December. So those are the injured players that are obviously going to come in through and obviously do the needful. But as we go into this game, we should note lots of things. And before I obviously get in my NBs, not betters, let's try and obviously talk the predicted starting 11 of Manchester United, because most of you are really waiting for it, and here it comes to you guys. And the system that you're going to play is a 4-2-3-1, unless otherwise Erik ten Hag changes it, because the last time he played them at Old Trafford, that is the way he changed the system. It was a 4-3-2-1. I remember the players who started like yesterday. It was David De Gea in goal. Aaron Bissaka was the right back. Left back was Tyrell Malacia. Central defense Luke Shaw and Rafael Varane. Then the midfield three was Fred, Eriksson, Eriksson and Casemiro. Then in front of them was Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, and Anton Martial led the line. Remember, he was injured in the first half of the game and they took him off. That is it. So that was how we lined up. In the FA Cup, I think we lined up the same way. Not so? Lisandro Martinez was injured, but it was Lindelof and Varane in the central defense, Luke Shaw left back, Bissaka right back, Casemiro, Fred, Bruno Fernandes played on the wing. Then Eriksson never started. Rashford, Anton Martial. Did he even play? Martial was away. Anthony, right? So in the game at Old Trafford, Anthony just came on through from the bench. But we wait and see how that's going to pan out. But let's go into the predicted starting 11 of Man United. Andre Onana saving us a late minute penalty. He obviously deserves a start in this game of football, as you know that very well. Then we go to the right. We go to the right attacking. Go to the right back. It's going to be Dalot, no doubts about that, no question. Left back, going to be Sergio Roglan. He's the only left back fit to obviously face this beautiful game of football. Then in the central defense, it's obviously Rafael Varane on the right. And I want to see Lindelof play alongside Rafael Varane. Guys, red flag number one. I'm not undermining Harry Maguire, but you can perform well against teams like Sheffield, Copenhagen, and so on. Teams that are really below the belt. But when you're talking about top-notch teams, there is no way you trust Harry Maguire to play into that central defense, because one of the most threatening pieces about Erling Haaland is his speed. And if at all you're to play Highline at Old Trafford and you're playing with Harry Maguire, obviously you don't really want that situation, because Haaland will obviously be told by Pep Guardiola that go on and really be in that zone where Harry Maguire is. You can easily force him into an error that will help us get a goal. And that is one of the things I don't want us to see as we're taking on Man City. So, I go Lindelof. I respect him, but I think should be rested. He should be played in the game of Newcastle. Yeah, because they're not having Alexander Isak. They're not having Sandro Tonali. They're not having this Arsenal guy, Willock. So, mid next week, we can as well face them up and really do the needful. That is it. So, that is it. That is what we call a back four that I really want to see Erik ten Hag bring in through. And the moment I see Harry Maguire, I'm obviously going to be vexed. That is it. So in the double pivot, I think we are going to see a double pivot of Casemiro and Amrabat play again and see whether they can obviously tussle it out when they're playing a team of Man City under the instructions of Erik ten Hag. Bruno Fernandes, I want to see him as a right attacking midfielder, though we might see him being played as a right winger. Ten Hag can obviously go like that and obviously bring in maybe Mason Mount to play into this game of football because he's a big game winner, or Eriksson to start as a 10 in that game. Then I predict I see Anthony starting off the right attacking side of the midfield, and on the left it's obviously going to be Marcus Rashford, and guess who's leading the line? It's going to be Rasmus Hojlund onto the Sunday evening. Now, when you look at Dalot, he's obviously going to be facing Doku or Jack Grealish. For him, I'm 100% solid, because when you're playing Arsenal, he was played as an inverted left back. And guess what happened? He really pocketed Bukayo Saka, and Bukayo Saka was nowhere to be seen. And the only highlight that Saka could make in that entire fixture was the corner he brought in through, and it was aided by the non-agilityness of Harry Maguire and Evans that went ahead to cost us a goal. That is it. That means they can hold that very well. On the right, I think Man City will either play Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva. I think any of the two will be playing there. And I think Sergio Hojlund can easily close them down very well. At Spurs, I never really recognized his defensive abilities. I think it was because of us not following him up to the marks. But I believe he has some good defensive ability. And going forward, he's really a very good player and is press resistant. Now, in the central defense, Lindelof and Varane are obviously going to be facing... what's the name of the guy? Haaland or Julian Alves. The midfield battle for Man City, I think Man City is going to have Kovacic. They're going to be having Rodri. So Casemiro and Amrabat will be facing that duo. So that's what we wait and see. So on the left back, I think they're going to be having Vadio facing Anthony. It's really going to be a very, 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 very big task for Anthony to obviously create something from the side, because Vadio is a rock, talented, and obviously great. Then Marcus Rashford is going to be facing Kyle Walker. There is no way they can mess up with Rico. Is it Rico James? What's the name of Rico something? Rico Lewis, right? Because Rashford is a pacey playing player, and they want to be having Kyle Walker, who really matches up the pace. Rasmus Hojlund will be facing Nathan Ake or John Stones with Ruben Diaz. So that's the team I really expect to see to it that is going to be flaunted by the side of Man City, and we are obviously going to bring it up at our channel, that is the Rokani Media Football Sister channel. So let's get into what we call the match head-to-heads that you guys need to know about this overall fixture. We've been told Man United came from behind to win this exact fixture 2-1 last season. They are looking to win consecutive home leagues games against Manchester City for the first time since a run of 3 between 2008, 2009 and 2010, 2011, meaning that we've taken long without beating Man City consecutively at Old Trafford. Remember, the last season we played Man City because that's when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked. Man City beat us by 2-0. You remember that? So that means the previous season of 2021-2022 we had lost at Old Trafford by 2-0. And the last season we won by 2-1. Remember that controversial goal that Bruno Fernandes went ahead to score and VAR took time to analyze that was given. Then Garnacho set it Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford really went ahead to score the winner. Then Manchester City have won more Premier League away games against Manchester United than any other side, 8, with 7 of their 8 wins at Old Trafford coming in their last 12 visits. So they've been really dominant in the last 12 visits at Old Trafford. They've gone ahead to clinch wins from us. So it's really ugly. Those are really, really, really things that we should obviously not allow to happen. And it shows you that it's happening in the era where Sir Alex Ferguson is not here. So they've gone ahead to win 8 at Old Trafford. That is unacceptable for our nemesis to obviously win that. Since the start of the 2011-2012 season, Man City have won 13 of their 24 Premier League meetings with Manchester United. 3 draws and 8 losses, more than any other side in that time. Their previous 13 league wins over the Red Devils came over a 62-game period between 1970 and 2011. So it shows you that we need to really tighten our stockings and really see to it that we go into this game of football when we know it's really a game to really break records that Man City want to reset again on us, and we should obviously put in the required shift. Then this will be the 9th Premier League Manchester derby played immediately after both sides have had a UEFA Champions League group stage. Manchester City have won 5 of their previous 8. You get? With Manchester United's only victory coming in December 2012, it was a 3-2 win at Etihad. I still remember that like yesterday. It was Robin van Persie who obviously went ahead to obviously score that goal. And it was a free kick to make it 3-1 for the club of Man United. And lastly, Manchester United have won their last 2 Premier League games, having lost 4 of their previous 6 in there for you. All 5 of their league wins this season have been by a single goal, with 4 of those being won courtesy of a goal scored in the final 15 minutes. So we've been scoring very many goals in the final 15 minutes. So wait and see whether that really pans out on the side of Manchester City. Now, I've seen people obviously coming out and really downplaying our efforts that Manchester United is going to be beaten by Manchester City. Guys, this is Old Trafford. I'm telling you this. It's Old Trafford. We might not be playing to the levels that most of the people want us to be playing at, but I would like to confirm to you that this is Old Trafford. And we've gone ahead to win 3 consecutive games for the very first time this season and win our first 2 consecutive wins this season. We've gone ahead to be losing games in, games out. Man City comes here without Kevin De Bruyne, their best player, and he's the one who best reads the runs of Hojlund and opens up for other teams. Even last time when they played at Old Trafford, you remember that it was a brilliant effort towards the byline by Kevin De Bruyne to the goal, to the back post, that saw Man City lead. I think it was around the 50th minute, and Jack Grealish headed that ball home. So that's the only moment of magic they had to create in that game, because they were almost tied down, and we had to spare a full player to obviously monitor the plays of Kevin De Bruyne. That was Fred. This time round, we don't have to spare that, because this team can obviously balance up. When you look at how Man City played against Arsenal and how they were locked, I think Ten Hag is going to lock them up like he locked them at Old Trafford again, and is going to be looking for that spark to hit them on the break. That is it. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring fixture, by the way. We might see this game end 3-2 in favor of Man United. That is it. I see a win written all over this game, and the best result City can get at Old Trafford is a draw. I'm saying this with authenticity, especially if at all Harry Maguire doesn't play. You get? But if at all Harry Maguire starts, then we'll be doomed. That is it. So, my prediction is 3-2 as we face them at Old Trafford, because I believe even Man City has not yet gotten back to the sparky Man City that it was. Even by the way, when we played them in the final, they are not all that a threatening team, but because we allowed in 2 goals that would have gone ahead to be not allowed in. That was the problem of the club of Man United. But all I really want to let you know is that this is the match preview, Manchester United versus Man City. I think I've gone ahead to break down everything. My prediction is 3-2 in favor of Man United. So guys, Juma Karim to the Muslims, the Christians. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David remains my name. See you when you see me. And first video of the day is in. Hope you guys are really great. We out. See you when you see us.